Kyrgyzstan is a combinational harmony with the pure nature and the mountain tops, in the sky of thousand mountains, lakes, regions, rivers. In the chronicled world history of Kyrgyz is described one of the most ancient people which held high manner of the great culture nomads. The Kyrgyz one of the main people of ancient history. Moving from the east to the west, from the west to the east, in the most ancient times, the Kyrgyz occupied the leading place and at their time founded Great Kyrgyz Khaganate. In the north, Kyrgyzstan borders with Kazakhstan, in the west, northwest Uzbekistan, and in the southwest Tajikistan, and in the south and the southeast China. 94% of the country is mountainous. Some of the highest mountains in the world, Peak Pobeda, Han Tengri, and Lenin Peak, are in Kyrgyzstan. It stocks pure water, some of the finest in the world. Especially prides of Kyrgyzstan are high mountains, lakes, Sarıçalek, Çatırkul, and Issıkkul, known to the world as a pearl of Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan is a democratic country which declared independence in 1991. The capital is Bishkek. The population of Kyrgyzstan is over 5 million people. It is a multinational state. Kyrgyzstan is a country with an unique environmental condition and the monuments of ancient culture creates outstanding opportunity for tourism development. Interested, the world tourism is attracted by the pride of Kyrgyzstan. My small native land is Batken. Batken Oblast is located in the southwestern part of the republic and was founded in October 1999 after it separated from Osh province. Batken region itself known in Kyrgyzstan, its sweet apricots and a rare flower called aygul. Batken State University was established in 2000. It is one of the leading universities in the Batken region of Kyrgyzstan. Its structure includes 4 institutes and 2 colleges. There are 9 faculties, 3 secondary special educational departments. In the Batken State University, they implemented a multi-level system of education with the release of bachelor's, 22 specialties of higher education, as well as the university is preparing the program of specialized secondary education in 18 specialties. They study about 8,000 students in the pedagogical, technical, and economical direction. One of the main tasks of Batken State University is the development of science through the research and the innovation. The research work of scientists associated with the education process, theory, and the practice, as well as the profession acquired by the students. Students successfully participate in the various forms of research. For achievements in study and research work, many of them were awarded the presidential scholarships and a variety of the other scholarships. Today, in Batken State University, graduated more than 20,000 professionals who are successfully worked not only in Kyrgyzstan, but also in many countries of near and the far abroad. The country they occupied positions of heads of many large organizations, companies, and enterprises. The university successfully operates 2 sports complexes. Among the students and the faculty members are champions and the winners of international, Central Asia, and the national competitions. Young university from year to year is developing them dynamically. It has modern material and technical and information base, cohesive and hardworking faculty, university management. It is a team of like-minded, which is formed from the initiative. University management is a team of like-minded, which are formed from initiative, commitment to innovation professionals. Classes are taught by more than 400 highly qualified teachers, doctors, PhDs, honors, and the honored education. Dear participants of the forum, it is presentation on the theory of concentrated deformations in the calculations of carrying constructions in the multi-storied buildings. Future projections show that the concentration of the population around the big cities is a logical, objective and global process related to population growth and the development of the productive forces. Of course, in the terms of their natural limitation of the land and the increasing its value cannot be infinitely city to spread outwards. They grow and will grow up by increasing the number of stories of residential, civil and public buildings. With the increasing number of stories of the building are the complex and critical structures. Their responsibility is the fact that the administrative or residential high-rise building while staying thousands of people, life and well-being are directly dependent on their knowledge and skills of designers and builders engaged in these facilities. Reliable operation of the individual elements and their combination must be provided based on the total load and the impact in the stage of manufacturing, installation and operation. In this calculation, the most important stage is the construction of computational models for the individual components of bearing systems in general. Computational models must meet two dialectically contradictory requirements. On the one hand, the calculation model should more adequately reflect the characteristics of the simulated elements of the support system. On the other hand, it should be simple and easy to implement using computational tools. To address this issue, we have developed the method for focusing deformation proposed by Professor Alexey Rufin-Ranitsina, developed by Associate Professor Dodonov, applied to reinforced concrete structures, allowing determining the strength and the displacement for the various stages of the stress-strain state from the time of loading and to the destruction, taking into account the long-term exposure. The essence of the method consists of focusing the deformation that the source rod is divided into elements in the planes between which the section adjustment the strain focusing elements. The main advantage of the method of concentrated deformation is stiffness matrix generation. Sections of elements. Rod systems are the elements of the matrix stiffness of the cross sections are beamed stiffness characteristics. Another advantage of the method of concentrated strain is a clear division of complex stress strain state of the elementary components: bending, compression, tension. A third advantage of the method is the ease of concentrated deformation accounting compliance connections between elements or supporting devices. It is important in the calculation of presses, monolithic or composite constructions. A fourth advantage of the method of deformation concentrated in the developing direction here in the widespread use of the hypothesis of plane sections. However, the method of concentrated deformations focused primarily on the calculation of the elements in view of real diagrams of concrete and the reinforcement strain at different durations of loading. At the same time, taking into account the non-linearity of concrete quarries in the conventional finite element method, stiffness matrix elements have to find in the main central axis, changes its position depending on the level of the stress strain state and the duration of loading. In the method of concentrated strain, stiffness matrix elements are built directly on the basis of the stiffness matrix of the cross sections in constant coordinate axis without going to the central axis of the cross section. This fact represents a significant advantage of the method of concentrated deformations. On the basis of the developed discrete computational models for reinforced concrete cross sections, rod systems, flat tensed and bending of plate structures in the carry systems of multi-story buildings, of the peculiarities of the work of reinforced concrete structures, taking into account the duration of exposure to the external load causing the non-work of reinforced concrete structures, taking into account the duration of exposure to the external load, causing the non-linearity and the elastoplastic behavior of connection between precast concrete elements. It is established that flat tensed bearing concrete elements of multi-story building systems, taking into account the non-linear operation of the concrete and the reinforced in structures, as well as connections between precast elements, simply and securely can be calculated by the method of concentrated deformations. Developed and offered by the methodology and the calculation algorithm allows to use real material deformation diagrams and to take into account the non-linearity of the uneven development of normal and shear stresses at the height of sexual elements. Due to the conditions of supporting them, in cramped conditions is the presence of the effect of the trough. Cost of effectiveness outcomes investigated and confirmed the obvious implementation of regulations designed to help reduce cost and time to design and build high-rise buildings by 30%. Thank you for your attention.